Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Akmal bin Mazlan, and I'm from 4BE1/2 from Faculty of Electrical and Electronic Engineering from Utem, Melaka. And my supervisor is Mr. Muhammad Fareq bin Ibrahim. For my final year project, I've done a project called Smart Goat Feeder with SMS and also Android controller. I would like to give my gratitude to my panel TS Salihah binti Muhammad Saleh and also TS Maslan bin Zainal. So, without further ado, let us continue with the poster presentation. Okay, so as you can see in the poster, we have the title, which is the Smart Goat Feeder with SMS and also Android controller, and also the content in it is the introduction, research methodology, objective, discussion, and also conclusion. Okay, so let's start with the introduction. So for the introduction, the Smart Goat Feeder with SMS and Android controller purpose is to help the shepherd and also many more people working under animal agriculture. This machine uses the technology of GSM, which is to send message if the food is lower than the user preference, and also the GPRS for connecting with the user's phone through the application inside the phone, since the machine is working automatically to feed the animal. So, for the objective, okay, we have two objectives here that we must achieve, which is the first one will be to design and develop an automatic goat feeding machine with SMS and also Android controller. And also the next one is to analyze the distribution feeding amount and cycle for automatic goat feeding machine. So for the research methodology, I've outlined three main points, which is to develop the software part, which using an application called Blink. And also the next one, to develop the electronic part. And also the third one, which to combine all parts to become a hardware model. As you can see, this is the flowchart for my progress during throughout PSM1 and PSM2 to finish this product. So as you can see, we have start and then go into the literature review, which is to collect information about my product, what our product needed, just like the type of food, and also the type of component that I needed, and also to design the project circuit, which is divided into two parts, which is the software part and also the hardware part. After the development of these two parts, and then the part will be merged to become a model, and then after that it will be testing whether the project system function or not. If not function, then go back into the part merging and to make a troubleshoot and then analyze the project, and that's it, the end. So here is the flowchart for the system that I've created for the feeder machine, which is we have the start, and then after the start, then the user needed to fill up the food tank with goat's food pellet. So with the goat's food pellet, and then after that, the user need to input the amount of food to feed the goat. And the next one will be to check whether the food pellet is more than 10%. After the user fill up the food tank, then the system will then check whether the food pellet is more than 10%. Then after that, it will send message to the phone back if no, to show that the food is less than 10%, that the user need to fill up the food. But if the food is more than 10%, then yes, it will go to distribute into the tray, and also it will feed successfully in the end. Okay. So in this part, I also show that we have uses a certain part of a component that we needed. The first one will be the MG995 servo motor, which is used as a door to let the food to distribute into the tray. The next one will be the HC-SR04, which is an ultrasonic sensor used to detect the amount of food. And also the next one will be the SIM800L V2. After all these three components is collected, then it will need to combine to become a product. Okay, as you can see, this is the final product that I have. The food container is on top, and then the tray is on bottom. And then there's the motor that is put onto the distributor chamber to allow the food to flow outside from the tank. And also there is the SIM800L that put on top of the system in order to gain data a lot much more easier. A little bit information. SIM800 has a little bit of problem with connection. It takes a lot of time connection. So this is all the result for this project. As you can see here, this is how the motors will work, the picture for it. And this is how the SMS will come up. And this is the link application. When it detects food inside of the tank. So now, I've divided analysis into two different type of analysis, which is the landscape for distribution test and also only the food distribution test. For the landscape, it is to check whether different type of landscape changes the amount of food distribute. As you can see, we have the 1 second opening with the stable landscape and also 1 second opening with the unstable landscape. As you can see, for the stable landscape, the amount of food through testing number 1 until 10, it decreasing, then increasing until it reach a certain amount of number that it fits. I'm sorry. And then for the unstable landscape, it also the same but with a higher amount of food at the first part of the testing. The flow is just almost the same as the stable one. And after the calculation they have done, as you can see here, the average amount of volume for the stable part is 118.1 centimeter cube, which is equivalent to 118.1 gram or equivalent to 0.118 kilogram. While the average for the unstable part is the 119.3 centimeter cube or equivalent to 119.3 gram or 0.119 kilogram. As you can see, both of the number does not really far away from each other, does not really different, which shows that the landscape does not really change the amount of food distributed to the tray for the goat to eat. Okay, so now let's continue with the food distribution test. The food distribution test function is to make sure how many of the number of food distribute in one day. How can the food distribute in one day? How many times that it can distribute? So I've divided into two part, which is the 1 second and also the 2 second. For the 1 second, as you can see here, the food is at 100 part, which is, and then it goes lesser until it reach the minimum amount, which is the 25. So this is for the 1 second opening. And then the 2 second opening, which is to have higher amount of food distributed rather than the 1 second opening, which is shows that when the opening is open for a longer time, then the food will be a lot more. But also, as you can see here, the food distribute also is lesser, which means that when the food is higher, so then the number of food distribution also is lower. As the number of food is the maximum number of food amount, it is about 1000 gram or 1 kilogram or equivalent to 1000 centimeter cube, which is the maximum amount of food that is filled inside the tank. So here is another table which shows the difference between the 1 second and 2 second opening and also the amount of cycle of feed. As you can see, the 1 second opening have 12 cycle of feed, which is the ideal is 11. As you can see, the last feed is below the 10%. When the food is reaching 10%, the motor will not be running anymore, as it will alert the user to fill the food in order for it to be more. And then for the 2 second opening, it has only 4 cycles, which shows that 1 second opening is better than the 2 second opening. Okay. To conclude, this project able to introduce the IoT, which is the Internet of Things, and also GSM technology for the animal agriculture in Malaysia. The technology of GSM is very good to be advanced, as it exists in every phone, which if utilized better can make every technology connect to many things, just like the phone does. As you can see, our phone can really connect to many things to any kind of things like the TV, Android TV, the our own house like the fan and so on. If this GSM utilized better, then every single thing can really connect it just like our phone did. Because every single thing is made to be connected like phone. If every single thing using the GSM just like phone does, it can be used just like the phone can be connected to anything others. Uh, just like the phone does connected to it. When this project is successful, the project can make the life of every shepherd and person in charge of animal agriculture a lot more easier. Uh, that if when then using an app with its own unique algorithm plus the advancement of the GSM technology, the connection between the uh, goat feeder machine and also the user's phone and also any other device can really connect better. So let's continue with the simulation part. Okay, so here is the prototype of goat feeder machine with SMS and also Android controller. As you can see around here, the SMS is turned on. So supposedly our phone also is turned on. So let's check into the amount of food that our tank has. Okay, so now as you can see the food is 62. So let us wait around 10 seconds until the motor is turned on. So the motor is turned on and then the food will be flow into the tray. Okay, so now let's check the amount of food that we have. Now it's 50. Food is less inside the tank and also the food is many inside the tray. So let's see how many our food inside using the Blink app. So right now the food is our tank is at 3%. So as you can see, there's a message that says the food is less than 10%. Please refill the tank to allow the goat to be fit and happy. So that's all for the experiment. Okay, thank you. And the motor will also not run since it is less than 10%. Thank you.